Squad, welcome back to the channel. Season 4 is here, and you know what that means. It is time for another updated Modern Warfare 3 Search and Destroy class setup video. For those of you unfamiliar with my videos, these classes are not for ranked play. So if you're looking for ranked play classes, go somewhere else. You're not here for that. These are classes for people that like to just play Modern Warfare 3 Search and Destroy, what different weapons to use, what good setups to use, and want to be able to chop a shit ton of kills in Search and Destroy. Then these classes are for you. This is what I run as a keyboard and mouse player on PC. I also play controller as well, but I do spend the majority of my games on keyboard and mouse. Before we get into the actual class setups themselves, let's first talk about the perk setup so that we have the perfect setup for Search and Destroy rushing. For me personally, I'm an aggressive player. You guys know I like to rush. For those of you unfamiliar, I have a rush route series where I go over every map in the game for rush routes for Search and Destroy to help you get a lot of kills. If you're unfamiliar with that series, check it out. I'll link it in the description of this video. But the actual class setup we're rocking for rushing has changed a little bit with Season 4. So we're always rocking that infantry vest. That's our go-to. We got that on. Our lethal and tactical are going to be a frag grenade and a stun grenade, as well as sometimes you rock a smoke grenade depending on the map we're running. Maps like Shoot House, for example, we tend to run smoke grenades on instead of stun grenades for the rush routes down middle map. For the field upgrade, I always get asked this: why am I running Dead Silence and Covert Sneakers? Well, the field upgrade being Dead Silence has a purpose. For those of you unfamiliar, Dead Silence actually doubles as the perk Ghost. So if you pop Dead Silence when an enemy team calls in a UAV, you have Ghost on, so you don't have to actually run the Ghost perk. You can run the field upgrade instead. For someone like me that likes to play a lot of Search and Destroy solo, this works out great for me because I don't like running the Ghost perk, but it is nice to have Ghost when the enemy team does inevitably get a UAV after my teammates have all died and given them one. Perks themselves are rocking Quick Rip, Covert Sneakers, and the Compression Plate. Now the gloves themselves we can kind of go in and out on, kind of depends on how you plan on playing. My personal favorite glove is going to be the Quick Grip, but I also run the Marksman gloves a lot for reduce sway and flinch while ADS. It helps quite a bit, especially if you're rocking rifle classes, so it kind of goes back and forth. If I'm playing a lobby where I tend to want to slow things down a little bit, if it's a tough game, a close game, whatever, then I tend to pull out the Marksman gloves. But for the most part, we're rocking Quick Grip gloves on almost every single class I'm running. Boots, Covert Sneakers, yeah, we're not going to change those up at all. Covert Sneakers have been the staple. We need Dead Silence. We need the footsteps to be quiet all the time. Now, they did nerf footstep audio a little bit with Season 4, made the footsteps quieter, which is a good step forward to having them fully balanced, but it's still not worth running anything but Covert Sneakers if you're playing Search and Destroy. Covert Sneakers is just, you got to run it if you want to survive a round of Search and Destroy. You can't be getting sound hard out here. Finally, the gear, the Compression Plate. This is what's changed a little bit. There's actually a lot of good gear options in this game. Very few that I'd be mad at you running. Like TacMax, for example, good option. The Compression Plate, which is the new one, probably my new favorite, good option. Ghost, not a bad option if you're not running Dead Silence. Data Jacker, a very underrated option for rushing. I highly recommend trying this one out for some fun. It's a good time if you're rushing really aggressive. And then you got EOD, of course, to combat nades and spawn nades. Well, in Season 3, they nerfed the frag grenades just a little bit, which made EOD not as helpful, but don't get me wrong, it is still helpful because if you get hit with a nade directly, you're gonna die. But I'm still swapping it out with Season 4 for the Compression Plate as my new gear, and here's why. The Compression Plate acts as the quick fix perk for Modern Warfare 19. If you're unfamiliar with that perk, basically, every time you get a kill, it automatically starts your health regen. It heals you. So for someone like me who likes to rush aggressively, especially in this game where you have 150 health, being able to kill one person and keep sprinting instantly because you're instantly healing, one, makes multi-kills so much easier, and two, keeps your chances of survival a lot better when you're sprinting to the spawn as fast as humanly possible. So if you have not unlocked this yet, this drop of Season 4, activate the Armory Challenge, get it unlocked, and give it a go for Search. I've been obsessed with this thing since they added it in. It's so much fun. And finally, secondary, you're gonna walk into the Gladiator or the Karambit Knife. Now, there's a lot of other secondary options. The only other one that's kind of worth noting, in my opinion, is the Soul Render, because this sword does cut through riot shields. So if riot shields are driving you crazy, or there's 2 or 3 of them in the lobby, throw the Soul Render on. It'll slow you down because the movement speed's not as fast, but you will be able to cut through riot shields. But most importantly, though, if you're going to rush, though, Karambit or Gladiator should be your go-to. These two have the fastest movement speed in the game as far as secondaries goes. Faster than the Gunner Knife, faster than the Tonfa, faster than the Combat Knife, faster than all of them. So if you're rushing and Search and Destroy, Gladiator and Karambit. I see a lot of people, a lot of clips from you guys, you send me rushing that you're not using these knives, and then you're like, your timings are wrong, you're trying to tell me my routes don't work or something. not running these is probably why, because it's significantly slower. You'd be surprised how much of a difference the Gladiator and the Karambit makes. So if you're gonna rush Search and Destroy, make sure you're running one of those two as your secondary. All right, let's get into the shit that matters. We got the actual class that we came here for. Starting things off with the MCW, the God Gun once again. They nerfed this weapon and now they've buffed it again. It's back being God tier. The headshot multiplier is through the roof again. This is still the go-to assault rifle. There's a few that are good that we're gonna worth noting in this video, but MCW is still on top in my opinion. We got the Mark III reflector, 16.5 barrel, flash hider, DR6 hand stop, and the RB Claw PSL grip. Next up, we got my beautiful, newly obtained Obsidian Uzi back from the dead. The Uzi, or the WP9, stays being, in my opinion, one of, if not the most underrated weapon in Modern Warfare 3. If you haven't given this thing a go, it's a phenomenal SMG that you are absolutely sleeping on. Classed it up with the 40-round mag, DR6 hand stop, the WSP Optech long barrel, the Mark III reflector, and then the Marauder grip. Looking at the new meta, we have the BP50, which was nerfed with Season 4, but it is still very, very, very good, especially with the conversion kit that makes it an SMG. Very, very good weapon, and it is pretty much in my lobbies as much as an MCW is nowadays, so I'm sure you guys are unaware of that as well. So, BP50 class, we got the Spirit Fire Suppressor, we got the 1MW Quickfire Laser, 9mm high grade ammo, the TRST IV Grip Tape, and the Jack Revenger kit. Seriously, this weapon, use it before they nerf it again, because it is probably the best SMG in the game right now, for being real. It's very, very, very good, and it's an assault rifle. Now we got the former and still kind of current meta. We got the Rival 9, everyone's go-to all reliable SMG. Class setup hasn't really changed with this weapon hardly at all. We're rocking the 40-round mag, Purifier muzzle brake, Rival 6 clear shot barrel, MTZ Marauder stock, and the Rival Vice grip. If you don't want the 40-round mag, I recommend running the DR6 hand stop instead for the fast ADS speed. But in my opinion, the ADS speed's already perfectly fine on this weapon. It doesn't need to be any faster than it already is. So I like having the 40-round mag because this thing shoots very fast when I'm rushing. It's nice to have those extra 10 shots. Next up, we got my sniper setup, which is just a little bit different than normal. We have got the compression carrier instead of the infantry vest on. With the sniper, I'm not going to rush, so I'm not really like that concerned about having double time. So having the compression carrier is pretty nice because I get the kill, instantly heal. So if I get caught off guard in like a double kill situation with the sniper, the compression carrier might make or break my survival. So I've been rocking that vest for my sniper classes. Besides that, we got quick grip, covert sneakers, and EOD instead of compression vest, because compression carrier is our compression vest, so we don't need the compression thing. We can rock EOD for this one as well, which is also helpful because if you're just sitting back with a sniper, you tend to catch a lot of nades. So having the EOD is actually helpful for this particular class since we aren't rushing. Now, class setup, XRK Stalker is still the #1 for me, all right? The Kar 98 is absolutely broken. It is disgustingly broken, which is why I don't think it's very fun to use, because it's just like, it's so good that it's like not fun, if that makes sense. The other snipers, there's lots of good options, but at the end of the day, I think the XRK Stalker is still my absolute go-to in this game. We got the KLX barrel, the FFSS V laser, we got the LV light stock, the light bolt, and then we've got the XRK Stalker factory rear grip. Next on my list is a class that is just all about basically getting as close as we can, having specialist bonus in this game. We have got the Renetti aftermarket part that makes it an SMG as our primary, thanks to the Gunslinger vest, okay? If you have not tried the Renetti with the aftermarket part, it's very good. I highly recommend it, which is why it's no issue using this as a primary weapon, because it's very strong for a pistol SMG. It's way, way too good. But we got the standard knife secondary. But here's where things get interesting. We got the Gunslinger vest. The Gunslinger vest allows us to have double secondaries, which means we can have the knife secondary for rushing as well as the Renetti SMG conversion as our primary, okay? This also gives us quick grip gloves, allowing us to swap weapons quick. We can reload while sprinting, and we can reload faster, right? We also deploy with max ammo for the pistol, so you're not going to run out of ammo and only have like 1 mag per your pistol like you normally would without this vest, okay? So you have plenty of ammo like you would for a normal primary class setup. The only downside is you actually are running a pistol primary. It's just with the conversion kit, the pistol is totally a primary. Like it's literally an SMG. Now, with the Gunslinger vest, this is where things get fun. You get double stuns, frag grenade. You get dead silence, which gives you ghost. You get the marksman gloves, which we also have quick grip gloves because of the Gunslinger vest. So we have quick grip gloves and marksman gloves. Then we have covert sneakers, EOD, and the compression plate. So we are safe from nades. We're dead silent. We have reduced flinch. We heal automatically after every single kill we get, and we can swap weapons and reload fast. That's like roughly 100 perks on one class setup, and your only downside is you have to use a pistol turned into an SMG that's still pretty much just as good as almost any SMG in this game. So if you haven't tried this class setup out, I'd highly recommend it. The actual attachments we have on the pistol, we got the Jack Ferocity carbine clip, Bruin onslaught rear grip, Ravage 8 stock. I'm rocking the Nidar optic. Personally, I think that's the best one to use for this particular conversion kit. But if you like the iron sights, you could rock those two and swap them out for something else. But I go with the optic. And then we got the 50 round mag to finish this off. Back to our normal classic, we have the new SnD Superi 46, which I definitely wouldn't say is meta, but I think it is definitely pretty enjoyable to use and honestly very good at long range for an SMG. It's a very hybrid SMG assault rifle type weapon, which we don't really have in this game besides like the Uzi. So this is another fun one to try out if you haven't gotten a chance to use the new SMG. Everyone's talking about the Kar 98. No one's really talking about this SMG, but I actually think it's pretty damn good at range. It's kind of odd. This thing is much more of an assault rifle than an SMG, but class setup wise, we got the Hound Guard heavy barrel. We got the Zeman compensator. We've got the X10 Phantom underbarrel, 40 round mag, and then the Sakin ZX grip. So if you're looking for a kind of a hybrid mid-range weapon, try out the new SMG if you haven't already. I think it's pretty fun. Got another assault rifle. We got the MTZ 556, an assault rifle that I think is arguably better than the MCW. It's close now that the MCW is buffed again, but the MTZ is right up there with the BP50 and MCW. It's a phenomenal assault rifle. You're not using it, you should be. Classes, we got the MTZ Drifter long barrel, the Cassis brake, the Bruin heavy support underbarrel, a Mark III reflector, or any optic of your choice, really. That goes for any of these classes. Use whatever optic you want. And then we've got the Bruin TR24 assault grip to finish us off. The BAU 27. Now, I'm gonna be real, this is not meta, but I still think it's pretty good, and I think it's really fun to use, especially if you're nostalgic for Advanced Warfare, which I am just a little bit. The BAU 27, I think, is pretty decent in this game. It's a fun, mid-range, aggressive assault rifle. It's got a good ADS time. I quite enjoy using it, and so here's my class setup. I thought I'd share it in the video, despite it not being technically meta. We've got the V-Laser, the Crown H3 barrel, the Alpha R flash hider, the X10 Phantom hand stop, and then we've got the Channel M grip to finish us off. Last but not least, we've got the Lockman Shroud, which with Season 4 is insane and is now way better than the Lockman sub. I made a video on this the other day. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But they released the Jack Decimator conversion kit for the Lockman Shroud, which allows you to make the Lockman Shroud full auto. So it just turns the burst MP5 into a normal MP5. It just turns it into a Lockman sub, except this thing is way better than the Lockman sub. I mean, it feels like it has low recoil, bullet velocity feels faster, the damage range just hits so much better. This thing is unbelievably good, arguably meta. I would almost argue it is top 3 in this game for SMGs. It's fucking awesome. I love it. If you haven't tried it out, try it out. Here's the class set. We got the Jack Decimator, the 40 round mag, the DR6 underbarrel, and the 7MW laser, and then an optic of your choice. Someone left a comment on my video because I was rocking the Mark III reflector in the video I made on this and said that I should have been using the Classics optic, and you're honestly right. I should be using the Classics optics. Let me just put that on right now so we can fix this problem. There we go. Here we go. We have the Classics. We got the COD 4 vibes. Now we really have the OG MP5. But bottom line, Lockman Shroud conversion kit. If you like the MP5 like everyone else does, try this thing out if you haven't. They kind of released it, didn't say anything about it. It's really good. Moving on to my settings, I say this in every class setup video that I'm not going to go out here and tell you that these are the best settings in the game. This is going to make you a better player, blah, 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 blah. There's a handful of things that are important to run. You know, 120 FOV is a pretty important one. I highly recommend running that. But for the most part, there's not really anything out of the norm that I'm running that y'all are not running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll through all my settings, all right? These are set up how I like them. You can look through whatever you want to see. I'll go through my controller settings, my keyboard and mouse keybinds, my graphics settings, my audio settings, everything. And you could just look and see exactly what you want to see and compare to what you're running. For my mouse to key people that are running, I run an 800 DPI. And for my controller people that are wondering, I run a SCUF controller with 2 paddles on the back. It's a PS4 controller. My left paddle is X, my right paddle is circle, and I play on a tactical button layout, which you'll see when I scroll through it. All right, squad, that is it for the video. Those are my classes for Modern Warfare 3 Season 4, as well as my settings. I hope the classes are fun. I hope you enjoy using some of them. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like on the video for me if you would, and I will catch you all in the next one.